point of view, passion, what do you care about? What hurts you? Who can stop you? If somebody can stop you, they need to get out of your face. They are not your husband, wife, whatever. Get rid of them, honey. Let them go. You have to leave your mom, your dad. You gotta go. Because everybody's coming to this world with a purpose. However you look at God or a greater power than yourself or whatever you may feel it is, everybody has a purpose, and you'll find that if you go with it, and if you're a good person, and you're giving back. I've worked so hard my whole life. I'm still working so hard right now. I do a lot of great things. I'm directing so many wonderful shows. I'm directing Grey's and Scandal and this new show that's going to come out, How to Get Away with Murder, that actually is supposed to be right here in Philly. And I'm still developing ideas, still trying things, but at the end of the day, I have a purpose in life trying to pass this baton to these kids. Because they're the ones that need it. There's no arts education school. You know, when I grew up in Texas, it might have been segregated, but we had a music program. We had instruments. We had, musical productions. They might not even have musical instruments. They might not even have books. Forget a computer, which is the new language of the 21st century. We have a lot of challenges. So whatever your challenges are, they're not that great. You don't have Boko Haram kidnapping you. We're here. America is still the best country. I've been around the world a few times. I've worked in the Middle East. I've worked in China. I've worked in Brazil. I've worked in Europe, everywhere in Europe, South America, Brazil, you name it. We have the greatest country, who is still trying to figure out who she is. We're still the youngest, we're the greatest country, the strongest, but still trying to figure out who we are. And it's a room like this, full of creative people, that will help us define it. America's the leader in innovation. They can say what they want to say, and it might be getting jobbed out here. They might, you might call somebody, they might be answering from India, or from China, or wherever, but it comes from here. A lot of it comes from here. And creativity is what will keep us strong. It is creativity. There's a reason they say the arts and the sciences, because it is that same place of thought that all of that comes from. Trying to figure out a cure for cancer, or pneumonia, tuberculosis, it takes creativity. It takes creativity. You have to figure it out. And that's what we do in the world. Theater, film, art, music. We are creating a vision of the world through our own lens, the lens of whoever you are, your eye, your mind's eye, whatever that is. And the truth of the matter is, it's never wrong, whatever it is. Because that is who you are. That's what's great about the art world. You look at the Impressionist painters. I teach this to my kids. I make them look at them. Monet, Renoir, Pissarro, all of them. They were heretics in their time. What are you doing painting those little dots and those little birds? What is wrong with you? Can't you see? But you cannot afford a Degas or Monet or Van Gogh right now. They're priceless works. And a lot of those artists never lived to see how great an impact they had on the world. They believed in what they did. They stayed with it. A lot of them died young. A lot of them died in the insane asylum or whatever. Back in the day, the scientists, if you said the world was round, child, the Pope of the Catholic Church would put you in chains. Where are we today? Where are we today with religion? Where are we with the honesty of the history of the world? Why are we not looking? I'm reading a book right now called The World Lit by Fire, which is all about the history of Christianity and the Pope. And what does that have to do with directing dance or anything? It's just my interest. I'm interested in human nature. I'm interested in the politics of the world. And there's no such thing as separating politics from religion. That's just impossible. They like to say it, but it's not true. The whole world is burning in the Middle East. It's all about religion. That's what it is. You have to go there to understand. And even when you're there, you may not understand. I was given the great challenge to do an original work for the Kennedy Center when they had their Arabesque festival that was celebrating Arabic culture. And my job was, okay, Debbie Allen, come here, you know what you're doing, girl, come on. We want you to create a piece through dance that can somehow mitigate the gulf between Christian and Muslim religion. I'm like, duh. Well, I said yes, because that's me. I said, okay. I had no idea what I was going to do. I had not a clue. But I went over there and spent a lot of time. I read about 15 books. 15 books. I read books that taught me about their geography, the Bedouin people, the history, the wars, what was going on. And I came up with a great story about two boys in a military school. One was American, one was from Oman. One was Christian, one was Muslim. And they would just have a conversation that would lead to musicality and understanding. They were children, so it was an honest conversation. The American boy came in, hey, they got popcorn chow, they got hot dogs, come on, let's go to lunch. Another one was doing his prayers. And the American boy said, well, why are you on your knees? He said, I'm praying to God. I'm giving grace to God. He said, but you're always praying. He said, it's only 5 times a day. And the American boy said, are you that bad? Well, that was the beginning of them trying to understand. So it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was pretty cool. And it changed a lot of people's minds. So taking on challenges is part of staying relevant and being sustainability. Saying yes, even when you don't know the answer. Accepting something that's a challenge. Not always being comfortable. Because when you're comfortable, that's when you get lazy and fat. When you're not comfortable, you're staying on your toes. You're on your bones. When you sit back and you just gotta be comfortable, then yeah, let's just have another margarita, child. Let's just ooh. You can do that a little bit. But you have to be in that world where you're off balance, where you're not sure, where you're not certain, where it might hurt a little bit, where there's a possibility of failure. It's good for you. It's good because there is no real failure. That's somebody's opinion when they say, oh, we don't like it. And they didn't like the Impressionist painters. I will always say that. Critics that's a person's opinion. My dad didn't like it when I came home with a big afro. I went to Howard University. I was here in the Penn Relays, child. I was carrying on. I was living up in Philly. Love Philadelphia. Oh my Lord. I will never forget coming here. I had a boyfriend that was at Wharton. No one knows about this. It was nothing, child. Besides college. Nothing. But he was at Wharton. And he was just so tired. He just wasn't. I don't know, I was in the world of creativity, and then I was just walking the streets of Philly, and I met this brother named Yakub. And then I went to the, I had my afro out here, and I was just mad at the other boy. He was just getting on my nerves. Too bougie, So I was, came back from Sweden, said, oh, the most beautiful women in the world are in Sweden. I'm like, okay, that's enough with you. I'm done. So I'm on the street in Philly, just trying to be out, and met this brother named Yakub, and he said, "Sister, you're beautiful." I said, "I am." He said, "Yes, I like that." And so then he said, "You should come to the community center." I said, "Yes." And I went to the community center with him, and oh my God, the children were dancing, and it was spiritual, and it was about something. And that was just for about an hour. I spent just an hour with someone that was a stranger, who somehow I felt that I wasn't afraid, that he was nice. He was a nice guy. Then he got a little busy, John. I had to let go. Got a little serious. All I'm saying is, didn't happen, wasn't gonna happen. But Philadelphia always had so much. When I did the movie Amistad, I actually had to come here to your libraries and had some great assistance. So I could talk about a lot of things, but my joy right now is what I do in my work. I love directing. It's a very difficult job. I'm probably one of the preeminent female directors in LA, and that's been difficult. It's very it's very difficult when people are standing around you and they start talking about things and you know better, and then you rock and you roll, and then they go, "Wow, that Debbie Allen, oh, she's quick." It's not that I'm quick, it's because I know what I'm doing. It's because I know what I want, so I don't have to shoot everything. You know, I always know when somebody's a very young director because they shoot everything. I learned directing on Fame because I was in the editing room. Because they were always messing up my dance numbers, honey. They just messed it up, child. You know, having dancing on the upbeat when it's the downbeat and just jumping. I'm like, no, honey, no. So I spent hours it was like I was in grad school, in film school. That was my film school, was Fame. And so being a woman is something that they say, "Oh, we're looking for female directors," but they're sort of, but not really. Really, sort of. I